Have you ever noticed how some people earning an average paycheck seem totally at peace, while others making 2 or 3 times as much can't escape financial anxiety? It's a strange contradiction. The person driving an old Civic always seems to have money for what matters, while the neighbor with the brand new BMW is constantly one payment away from panic. If money alone created security, that should never happen, but it does every single day. So what's really going on? It's not the size of the paycheck. It's not the number in the savings account. And it's definitely not the brand of car in the driveway. The real difference lies in something you can't see or measure: a mindset. Not the vague, motivational kind people toss around online, but a deep, psychological framework that quietly dictates every financial decision you make. Because here's the truth most people never stop to think about. Your financial life is not built by the money you earn, but by the beliefs that shape how you use it. From childhood, we're sold a simple formula: make more money, feel more secure, be happier. It sounds logical, it feels true, but for most people, that formula never works. They earn more, but their spending rises with it. They buy comfort, but find themselves more stressed than ever. They chase income, but never experience peace. That's because the relationship between money and happiness runs in the opposite direction. It isn't money first, mindset later. It's mindset first, money follows. Your beliefs shape your behaviors. Your behaviors shape your results. And your results reinforce your beliefs for better or worse. It's a loop that compounds over time, just like interest, except this one determines whether you end up wealthy or perpetually broke. Every person carries around an invisible script about what money means. For some, money equals freedom, a tool for opportunity and choice. For others, it equals fear, a reminder of limitation, scarcity, and uncertainty, and accumulated substantial wealth through the magic of compound interest and smart decisions. The only real difference between them? Their mindset, the invisible software running in the background of their decisions. Now, this may sound like a simple concept, but the science behind it is profound. Long-term studies tracking thousands of people over decades have revealed something fascinating. Your mindset about money at age 25 can predict with remarkable accuracy what your net worth will be at age 55. It's not about where you start, not about your background or family history, and it's certainly not about how much money you make early on. It's about the beliefs you hold and how they shape your relationship with money. People with an abundance mindset, those who see money as a tool for opportunity, growth, and creating value, consistently outperform those with a scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset sees money as something finite, something that will eventually run out if you don't grab it while you can. It leads to fear-driven decisions and often reinforces a cycle of missed opportunities. In contrast, the abundance mindset sees the world as full of opportunity and possibilities. These people understand that wealth is not a fixed pie, but a pie that can grow and expand for everyone. They're not afraid to share or invest in others because they know that generosity, innovation, and value creation lead to more wealth for everyone involved. The key takeaway here is that your thoughts today are literally programming your financial future. The decisions you make, big or small, are influenced by how you perceive money. And those perceptions are shaping the path you walk down every day. When most people think about money, especially those with the scarcity mindset, they often see it as something inherently bad. They believe it corrupts, that the pursuit of it makes people greedy. They equate wanting more money with being selfish or morally inferior. Woe people can earn the same salary and live completely different financial realities. One saves, invests, and grows. The other spends, worries, and repeats. The only thing separating them is the story they tell themselves about what money represents. Those who struggle financially often see money as something that can vanish at any moment. They hoard what they have. They hesitate to invest. They buy cheap to save, but end up spending more in the long run. They avoid risk not because they're cautious, but because they're afraid. This fear creates a kind of financial paralysis. It convinces people that stability comes from holding on tightly rather than thinking strategically. And over time, that mindset guarantees the very thing they're trying to avoid: stagnation. Then there's the other kind of person, the one who sees money as energy in motion, not something to cling to, but something to direct. They understand that money is a tool, not a trophy, that it's not evil or pure, just neutral power in your hands. Instead of fearing risk, they manage it. Instead of saving blindly, they invest intentionally. They spend more upfront for quality because they know the long-term value of durability. They treat opportunities like seeds and trust the process of growth. 10 years later, both people may have earned the same income, but one is financially exhausted and the other has quietly built wealth. Why this matters? The difference between the two isn't luck, intelligence, or opportunity. It's mental wiring, the beliefs installed early in life that most people never update. Because money doesn't just measure your bank balance. It reflects your patterns, how you think, how you feel, and what you expect from yourself. So before you try to fix your income, try fixing your internal script. Because no financial strategy can outperform a broken mindset. The true path to wealth looks like this. Mindset, behavior, results, reinforce mindset. Every thought becomes a decision. Every decision becomes a habit. Every habit compounds into your financial destiny. That's the quiet mechanism behind every lucky break, every overnight success, and every person who somehow builds stability out of a modest salary. They didn't just manage their money, they mastered their mindset. Imagine two people earning the same $70,000 a year. They work in the same industry, have the same level of education, and share similar job responsibilities. But their financial lives couldn't be more different. Person A sees money as a scarce resource, something that needs to be hoarded, protected, and never wasted. They believe that the wealthy are somehow lucky, perhaps even selfish or corrupt. Because of this mindset, they avoid risks, they stash their money in low-interest savings accounts, and they buy cheap, disposable items that only last a year or two. They never take the leap into investing because the idea of losing money feels too risky. They live paycheck to paycheck, never really making strides toward wealth. Fast forward a decade, and person A is in the same job, earning the same $70,000 a year. Their savings haven't grown. They're still living with the same financial worries, trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to break. Now, imagine person B. They also earn $70,000 a year, but their perspective on money is completely different. They see money as a tool, a means to create opportunities and open doors for themselves. They take calculated risks, investing in stocks, real estate, or even furthering their education to increase their market value. They understand that some level of risk is necessary for growth. They buy quality items that last, knowing that spending more upfront can save them in the long run. They actively seek opportunities for growth, both personally and professionally, and learn new skills to improve their value. 10 years later, person B has doubled their income, built a solid investment portfolio, but people with a wealth mindset understand something important. Money is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool, a medium that amplifies whatever is already inside you. Money doesn't change who you are. It just magnifies your existing beliefs and desires. If you're a generous person, money gives you the power to help more people. If you're a creator, it helps you build your ideas. If you're driven by passion, it allows you to create and fund projects that make an impact. In fact, wealth creation is not a zero-sum game. It's a positive-sum game one, where everyone involved can win by creating value, whether that's through business, innovation, or simply providing a much-needed service. Wealth is the byproduct of this process. Here's a real-life example. I know someone who constantly turned down promotions at work because they didn't want their coworkers to think they were showing off or getting too big for their britches. They feared judgment more than they desired progress. Meanwhile, a colleague who started at the same time and earned the same salary took every opportunity to grow, to be ambitious, to push themselves. That person has been promoted 3 times and now earns twice as much simply because they were willing to embrace their potential and rise. The difference? A mindset that welcomed opportunity versus one that feared success. Those with a broke mindset see obstacles as confirmation that they're not meant to win. Every roadblock becomes a wall. Every rejection becomes proof that the system is unfair. They interpret setbacks as signs that they should stop trying. See, it's too hard. It's not worth it. So they retreat. They scale down their goals, lower their expectations, and convince themselves that survival is safer than growth. In the process, they slowly build a life that feels smaller than it should be. But those with a wealthy mindset view challenges through a completely different lens. They don't see problems as punishment. They see them as puzzles. A locked door doesn't mean turn back. It means find the key. Instead of asking, why me? They ask, what can this teach me? Each obstacle becomes a training ground, a classroom, an opportunity to get sharper, wiser, and more resilient. And every time they overcome one barrier, their belief in their own capability multiplies. Over time, that difference compounds just like money does. The person who avoids difficulty remains the same year after year. The one who confronts it becomes unstoppable not because life got easier, but because they got stronger. Among all the differences between the wealthy and the struggling, one stands out above the rest: how they perceive time. People stuck in scarcity are prisoners of the present. They chase quick wins, immediate pleasures, and short bursts of happiness, the dopamine hit of a new phone, a weekend splurge, a dinner they can't afford. Their focus is on today because tomorrow feels too uncertain to plan for. But here's the irony: in chasing comfort now, they guarantee discomfort later. They trade long-term peace for short-term pleasure, again and again, without realizing the true cost. Those with an abundance mindset live by a different clock. They understand that time is the ultimate currency, and that wealth is built not in moments of impulse, but in years of intention. They make sacrifices most people avoid: cooking at home instead of eating out, investing before indulging, learning before earning. To them, these choices aren't punishment, they're investments in a future self who will thank them. Every dollar they save, every decision they delay, every moment they dedicate to growth is a vote for who they want to become. They understand that every purchase is a trade between the person they are today and the person they could be tomorrow. This isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself of joy. It's about being deliberate.